It's the moment you've been waiting for. The second wave of artists performing at the 25th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Aka, you sweet! Collision Band, Small Axe Band, Statics, Erica Edwards, Anthony B, Romain Volgo, TJ, Nicha B, 313 Family, Mr. Bagnall, Cass, Nyla Blackman, 3D, Gramps Morgan, New Vibes Band, Ricardo Drew, Dexter Daps, Burna Boy, and they will be performing alongside Patrice Roberts, Chronix, Coffee, Byron Messiah, Grandmasters, Valiant, Governor, Ear Supply, Skinny Fabulous, and Skelly Bang. Book now and save the date, June 22nd to the 24th, 2023. It's the 25th anniversary of the St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other. It's the moment you...
St. Kitts, make some noise for yourselves. St. Kitts, if you love reggae music, you know the vibe. St. Kitts, are you ready?
St. Kitts are leaders when it comes to party, when it comes to energy.
When I say actor, y'all say full actor. Actor, oh, you just came home from doing a bid. Tell me what you gonna do.
Put your hands in the air, come on. Oh, what you think is love, dog, it's truly not.
I couldn't turn the other cheek. Papa, I sure hope you understand.
Talking about trust, talking about forever, baby. When you're talking about... Girl, I can't believe the love you given me.
You can say I'm no good for you, but in my heart, oh, baby, yeah. I won't stop.
Watch the people running when they hear the steel beat. See them on the railing when the best.
Let's go all around the world.
They're fantastic. I want to see you throw your hands in the air as bombastic.
People say,
For no worries, I don't got no time.
funny how fast she mama's coming to the door. She said,
Jump up with your worst behavior. Wind up with your worst behavior. Join up with your worst behavior.
But that's alright by me. Yeah.
Like they show now them brotherhood. No pass say them go like up on the North Pole.
it's not an easy road. Then they see the glamour and the glitter. Then
Let's do this. Oh, na, 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 na.
And who knows, and who knows, who knows, who knows. And I just go where the trace.
she got another kitty while we in another kitty. She from another country, I brought her to the city.
Somebody jump, jump, jump.
My eyes, tell me what you see. Can you feel my pain? Give me this, give us a better way. Decision. I said we're ready.
Some grudges and jealousy and police where abuse them authority. Be the clown when I don't know
Business. No, we know business. When you turn like you know business. When you turn like you know business.
Yeah, them are. Circuit.
We are option pop.
We know where you're from.
It's burning so hot and you can't put it. Don't be ashamed. Take it.
Shoulder to shoulder. Now get jiggy, everybody. Lean in, lean in, lean in. No do say that. Set it, rock it. My last year, rock it, set it. Everybody drinking. Who cares what the thinking? Yo,
Be right by your side. And every morning I'll be there.
Whenever we're in the world house, see everywhere I need. Tell them easy.
Boot up, dee-dee-da-da. Boot up, and my heart go ba-da. Boot up.
I'm all the way. I'm all the way.
no one is all again. I need to walk
Within the past.
Some cry, some fight, some cry every day. We rise.
Lord, and I want you to know right now that
Give me no shackles, no one like give me no chain. Now sell my soul just in a just in change. I'm now in the Bunker! If the man a word, hey, box it up, box it up, box it up. Strike a pose, with the box.
I know for them broke like dog and I move like giant. What's them mom? Got up, girl, now by yourself. I'm feeling, babe, it's just a woman thing.
It's a man's world, but I understand.
But let's do nothing different.
She loves only me, now oh Lord. Don't wanna cheat, she don't want my
girlfriend.
I don't wanna cheat. There's a meeting
Come on.
in my bed. There's a meeting in my bed. That is about you to make me trip away. Face defense, separate again.
We are ready for the ultimate music extravaganza at the highly anticipated St. Kitts Music Festival, affectionately known as Music Fest. As one of the most exciting and beloved events in the Caribbean, Music Fest this year promises to be the biggest and most exciting one yet. For 25 years, the St. Kitts Music Festival has been attracting music lovers from around the world to experience the magic of music in a stunning island setting. From Lionel Richie to Ciara, Shaggy to Beres Hammond, and Machel Montano, the festival has hosted some of the biggest names in the music industry, and this year's lineup will be even more impressive. St. Kitts is home to some of the most incredible musical talents in the world, with unique styles and mesmerizing melodies, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in music. With luminaries such as Byron Messiah, De Jour, Infamous, Highlights, and bands like Grandmasters, New Vibes, Small Axe, and Collision, our local talent will continue to make waves on the global stage. The St. Kitts Music Festival offers more than just a musical event. In fact, It is a gateway to immerse oneself in the richness of Kittitian culture and history. Visit the UNESCO World Heritage Site at Brimstone Hill for a journey through time. Take a scenic train ride through the island's breathtaking vistas. Or get creative with a make-your-own batik experience at Caribel Batik. The Kittitian Rum Master Program is a must-visit for anyone interested in learning more about the history and production of this beloved Caribbean spirit. And that's not all. The Frigate Bay Strip is a hotbed of lively nightlife and adventures such as the day trip to Nevis, ziplining, and kayaking, offering endless excitement. There is never a dull moment in St. Kitts. And with the festival running from June 22nd to the 24th, there's no better time to experience the great sound of music and the excitement of exploration. I invite you to experience the unique Kittitian vibe that makes this island so special. I dare say, it is the perfect way to kick off a summer of fun in Sugar City. The 25th anniversary of the St. Kitts Music Festival will be an experience like no other.
Tune!
Yeah.
Tune!
I love St. Kitts.
Tune!
Because I love St. Kitts.
Tune!
And if you don't love St. Kitts, pick up and leave St. Kitts. Because if you want to leave St. Kitts, you'll lie down and cry and grieve St. Kitts. That's why when you sit down and watch through the plane, do your eyes and believe St. Kitts. So read St. Kitts, jump and swim in at the beach St. Kitts.
Though what sells St. Kitts, Nevis, is the people. And me, the type of personality that I have, I am known for being super bubbly. In Trinidad, they call me the selfish of the industry. Everybody love Natty. So I just kind of fit right in, you know. I feel as though I could have that type of relationship. So I'm really, really happy.
Listen, it's not what we said. You understand?
They brought the energy and I fed off their energy, they fed off my energy, and it was a whole energetic vibe, a whole energetic performance. First time in the music fest, but not the first time in St. Kitts, and like I say, I just happy to grace the stage with all these great artists, these great talents. The energy was there, 100%.
This is the video time. This is the video time. Put your hand in the air, rock in the air. 1, 2, 3. All give you what a man. Let them know. Spot this anywhere we land. Let them know. Vibes up on a million. Whoa. 1, 2. Wet it up like falling. Give them and them take we want to run.
We're feeling really good. We're feeling really good. We're enjoying Music Festival. This is my first time, but it won't be the last. Definitely won't be the last.
It's mine. I lost them. We lost them. We waiting for the Vikings. Every day, making you sweat. How many can tell and shadow dingo. Why hear this one say? We are the sound of soccer. Big bad soccer. I say big bad soccer. Big bad soccer. Lord, we are the sound of 100,000.
Just the vibe of the place, man. Just you touch St. Kitts. If you never touched St. Kitts before, when you touch it, you feel home. And if you've been here before, when you come again, you feel home immediately. So that alone paramount everything else.
For me, it's the no phones.
Party, right?
The people in the crowd literally enjoyed every performer, and they were not
journalists. They were not videotaping. They were not documenting.
Yeah.
They were enjoying.
Yeah,
You know
long
how
time,
hard it is
for
to
real.
get thousands of people to
For
put
real,
their
for
phones
real,
in their
for
back pocket and just live in the moment.
Yeah, for
Y'all
real.
did something that we've seen very many few itsy bitsy teeny weeny party events accomplish.
We just come to relax and just have fun and just enjoy ourselves. This is actually my very first experience for the St. Kitts Music Festival. Yes. And my favorite band is performing right now, so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Everybody hand in the air! Everybody hand in the air! One! Seconds, I wanna see you! Seconds, I wanna see you! Tremble! Seconds! Put it right in the air, let me see you! Tremble attack! Tremble attack! Tremble attack! Raise up, raise up!
The vibes, the people. Because a people make up a country, apart from the landscaping and the beauty of the island and whatever, materials you all are known for, whatever. You see, when you land in a country, the people are the first people that you meet. And whenever I finish singing soca and I stop, St. Kitts is going to be one of those places that I fondly remember. Whether I write a biography, whether I talk about moments or memories, I'm going to talk about St. Kitts, the warmth of the island. I'm going to talk about the bacchanal and the parties. I'm going to talk about the many friends that I made.
We just had Destra and she mashed it up. I mean, really, really mashed it up. I had fun. It was so fun. I love it.
This morning, sing for me. Watch out, Jaja. Whoa, give me love and life.
Come back now after the pandemic and see the growth. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me because I take my music very seriously and I also take soca very seriously. And seeing what soca has done for the people in St. Kitts over the years, I'm not the first, I wouldn't be the last. But seeing the growth in terms of my career and seeing the way the people love and defend soca music, that's everything for me, man. So blessings to everybody from St. Kitts and Nevis, blessings to everybody in the St. Kitts Music Festival. We say good vibes.
Sometimes I feel like I don't wanna leave. Because right now, I want to hold.
We think that the St. Kitts Music Festival is an absolutely fantastic brand. It's a wonderful event for St. Kitts and Nevis. And Carambola is certainly very pleased to always partner with the St. Kitts Music Festival for the further growth of both brands. Carambola is known for its hospitality, fine culinary, and the service. And of course, we bring that aspect of the St. Kitts Music Festival experience here to the stadium to put on our VVIP, where we host some of the guests who are excited to return to St. Kitts for the St. Kitts Music Festival.
Oh my gosh! I am from the middle of the United States, Indianapolis, Indiana, close to Chicago. This is incredible. Like, to be back, the St. Kitts Music Festival is amazing. All the people are nice. Total blast. So blessed.
Can you rap for me? Not stopping me. Can you take it to the top of me? I just wanna love you, baby. Always can you love you, baby. Can you roll with me? Oh, baby. All over me. Can you take control of me? I just wanna love you, baby. Always can you love you, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody just clap your hands to the beat. Just clap your hands to the beat. Get them up there, put them up there. Get them up there, put them up there. Just clap your hands to the beat. Just clap your hands for Mr. Shotty.
Can you rock with me? Not stopping me. Can you take it to the top of me?
Tonight I could tell you, Highlight and Infamous had the moment. Knowing them personally and seeing what had happened after almost a decade, I think that was a moment. And for me, having been on the stage about 3 times, I understand what that moment is like, and I'm just soaking it all in tonight.
Give me food and when me need fi hold and base me just me marijuana. Cause me no take no crack, no coke, no pill me have to up my yard, turn up on them fake coming on. Level me now. A long time in no like mix up, nah discuss, nobody me no live so. But if a girl feel she brave, we chuck up the face, me a real top girl, me no. And anything wanna chat about me, make sure we no mention say me. Become a well, I got you so I love you guys. So come and push it on me. It's alright. Put it up in low and bring it on. She does
You know, Barry Salmon to me is one of Jamaica's consummate performers and musicians. So it was a joy to see him on the plane coming over. He's here, St. Kitts. What this festival is gonna do is kick.
Good morning, all. Welcome to the first press conference for the 25th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival. After a packed weekend of activities, including the music festival jump off on Saturday, the fishing tournament down in Deep Bay, and the Praise Fest yesterday at the Antioch Baptist Church. We are ready to follow our hearts and venture deeper for the St. Kitts Music Festival 25th edition, led by an experienced team. My name is Clement Monarch Ogaro, and I'm your host today. I'd like to say a special welcome to the members of the press that has joined us. We also welcome all who have joined us via WinFM, ZIZ, Von Radio, and also the YouTube and Facebook channel for the St. Kitts Music Festival. Before we proceed, let me introduce you to our head table. Right next to me, I have the Honorable Marsha Henderson, Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, International Transport, Employment and Labor, and Urban Development. Honorable Marsha Henderson. Chairman Alistair Williams is the chairman of the St. Kitts Music Festival. The production manager, Mr. Azem Bailey, and Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Adolph Adams. Tommy Thompson, CEO of Tourism Authority, that's the St. Kitts Tourism Authority. Loftus Bridgewater, Venue and Infrastructure. And Heart of St. Kitts rep from the Creative Economy, Marcia Jeffers, dance specialist. Welcome all. And we're happy that you guys have joined us here today. We see a packed room, and we're definitely ready to go for our 25th anniversary, or, well, 25th edition, that is, of the St. Kitts Music Festival. I am now going to introduce our minister, Honorable Marsha Henderson, to speak to you for a few minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, all. It's Monday morning, but we don't have Monday morning blues here. And that is because we are embarking on the week of the music festival. Just in a few days, we would be at the Warner Park Stadium for what we are calling an event, like an experience like no other. This morning, I just wanted to start on the 420 Friendly Festival and what that means. So tomorrow, we go to Parliament, and we are going to be finalizing, and I see Mr. Bat watching me, because I can imagine he has the questions already. But we go to Parliament tomorrow to have the second reading of the smoking bill and some others, of course. And in anticipation of the successful passing of the legislation, we will have a bill, an act, once it's passed, designated for certain public places as smoking areas, for which the Warner Park Stadium on the Mound will be what we call the Smokers Lounge. Of course, this is an introduction. It's a groundbreaking initiative with a unique and exclusive space to enjoy smoking of cigarettes, cigar, vapes, and of course, cannabis. For us, we are breaking barriers and setting new standards in the live music industry. Preparing, of course, in the Ministry of Tourism, as the music festival is a part of the overall tourism product, as we prepare to emerge for the market of cannabis tourism, which has the potential to stimulate the local economy and create a niche in the tourism industry. We see this as a pilot project. Of course, the first major music festival in the OECS is our music festival here in St. Kitts, and we are happy to embrace a cannabis-friendly festival environment. Festival attendees are kindly asked, and this is our preference for you to bring, and of course, this is because we have the Assistant Commissioner of Police here as well. So all of this, please remember, it's in anticipation of the successful passing of the legislation tomorrow. So provided that happens, we're asking patrons to come with your pre-rolled. And I'm sure everybody knows what that means. I see some people looking stunned, but we're asking patrons to bring their own pre-rolled cannabis for personal consumption within the designated area, as we are not going to have it on sale. So you have to come with it pre-rolled. More and more of the world's top festivals are now cannabis friendly, and the time is ripe for us to work towards normalizing the use of cannabis so that it is no longer seen as taboo or unacceptable. So tomorrow we would champion in Parliament where we would be passing legislation to give effect to the Sankofa case, where our court recognized the freedom of conscience and belief for our citizens. It is in fact enshrined in the Constitution, and as a government, we have a responsibility as well to acknowledge and put mechanisms in place whereby we can acknowledge the rights of our citizens. And so we're scheduled to have this 420 lounge, which would be in a comfortable setting. It would be situated in a separated area, providing a discreet and comfortable setting for individuals to indulge in their preferred smoking activities, of course, without disturbing others. Private security would be hired by the St. Kitts Music Festival to oversee the identification checks, and they would be responsible for making sure things go well in that lounge within this private area. A place to smoke and hang out and have drinks, even though we won't have drinks on sale in this area. Of course, it's going to be, like I said, on the Mound with a bird's eye view of the stage. Now, we will operate under strict guidelines to ensure we have a safe and responsible environment. Access will only be granted to individuals aged 18 and above with a valid government-issued ID. And just to be clear, a valid ID can be a social security, a voter's ID, driver's license, or a passport, and one of these would be required for entry. No, it's not needed to come into the music festival, but if you think you want to go into the lounge, you would need an ID to access there. The festival organizers will be proactive, and we will apply for a designated smoking area, as this is contemplated by the legislation. Once the legislation is passed successfully, we have to apply to the minister and through the police to get a license to operate at the festival. So we're hoping all these things, of course, are approved. And once the legislation is passed, we will be applying for the requisite license for the designated area. The Smokers Lounge will be clearly marked with appropriate signage, so I don't think it can be missed. We have somebody who's responsible for decorating it as well. The setup would be a nature-inspired setup with decor to create a natural and calming atmosphere. Now, we are calling it high rise, and that is because it's on the mound, not because you intend to get high, but if you know where the mound is, once you get into the gate, it's on a high, it's on a little incline. So by introducing this area as a cannabis-friendly area in a mainstream event like the St. Kitts Music Festival, we will be demonstrating that our country is keeping up with the changing attitudes. It would show that we are ready to accept a new culture and cater to the desires of the public, and of course recognize the rights of our citizens as enshrined in the Constitution and pronounced by the High Court in the case of Sankofa. Also, it will help to make it easier for us to work towards, normalizing its use in addition to reducing stigma around the whole issue. So just allow me to reiterate that the St. Kitts Music Festival will provide an environment where everyone feels welcome and everyone is free to enjoy the festival in his or her own way. And of course, this of course is in keeping with your freedom of conscience. Just to add, so that's on the Smokers Lounge. We'll take the questions at the appropriate time. Like I said, we prefer if you come with, and I suspect the Assistant Commissioner of Police would speak more on lighters and all of that. No scissors, they will be taken from you, so it's easier to come with pre-rolled. And those of you who don't know what that means, it means you take the substance, whether it's a cigarette, if it's a vape, you come with it ready instead of walking with the oil in it in a bottle and the vape separately. If it's cannabis, the substance then is to go into, what do we call that, the wrapper? Yes, you put that into the wrapper and you roll it. In terms of the numbers that you can walk with, is that something you want me to address, Assistant Commissioner? Preferably, thank you. In terms of numbers now, I think the legislation speaks to 15 milligrams, or forgive me, tomorrow, I don't actually have it here, but it amounts to the most 4 rolls, pre-rolled, and I don't think anybody needs more than that. If you do, you borrow from your friend. In terms of cigarettes, there's no limit on cigarettes. Similarly for vape pens, there are no limits on the vape pens. The issue is walking with the oils. So just organize yourself. If you have a friend, your friend could bring some for you and organize yourself. All right, so we will be having a special introduction this year for the toast to the 25th anniversary on each night. The productions, I don't know if Azam is going to address this, but as a part of the production, we want to create a party-type atmosphere where we would be toasting, compliments our sponsors, several sponsors, to the 25th edition. We will have, I think it's 30 to 45 minutes fireworks, confetti, and a live DJ. I know one of them is DJ Walshy Fire, that's his name. Walshy Fire from from where? Well, it used to be 3 of them, but he's on his own now. There's not Black Shiny, but Walshy Fire and one of our locals, of course, which is DJ Terror, who also got his start with the music festival. So we would have a toast for everybody just for this 30 to 45 minutes. Of course, we would want you to patronize our vendors. And so this toast is just one drink, not your drink for the entire night. Last night, we had our gospel-themed event with our partner at the Antioch Baptist Church. It was extremely successful. Persons are calling and saying it, how they're hoping that we would keep this. So kudos and thank you to our partners at the Antioch Baptist Church, Pastor Connor and his team. And I understand that the former chair of the music festival, Damian Hobson, was instrumental, and they executed well last night as well. Parking, am I supposed to address that? Or? We have more space for parking. At the Bastia High School, if you've been paying attention, you would see that the grounds are groomed, and we would have security placed there as well down at UDC. There should be parking there at UDC free of cost. Or is there a cost? Yes, a small cost, I'm told, of course, to help with the overall operations there. Of course, security would be placed there, so it comes at a cost as well, because we have to pay our security officers there for working overtime. But your vehicles would be safe there at UDC. At the Bastia High School, the St. Kitts Music Festival will be providing security there as well, so you should not have any real concerns about your vehicles being broken into. And so I think that's my 5 minutes. Like I would close by saying that the government remains committed to tourism. This isn't just a stage show. Otherwise, like I like to say to our stakeholders, we would have it being run by the Ministry of Entertainment. But it's under the Ministry of Tourism for a reason. And that is because the product is supposed to bring visitors to our destination. And that is happening because the flights are filled. Makena is going to be running, I think, every day, more than 3 times per day, actually. And all the carriers are filled as well. So this is doing what it is supposed to do, and hopefully it generates economic activity for our people. So it's not just a music festival, but it's with our ministry for that reason, and we want us to be on our best behavior when our visitors are here. We hope that they would indulge in all that we have. I see people here from some of our stakeholders and partners in the industry. So we'd hope that they would go to the beaches, patronize our restaurants, our hotels, they stay at our hotels. And we hope that they would go and venture deeper and immerse themselves into the destination as well. So we're all brand ambassadors when visitors, and even those from the diaspora who return, come in for the music festival. We want you to greet them warmly. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'll take questions at the appropriate time.
All right, thank you, Madam Minister. And now we're going to move on to the only person in this room who's been around for all 25 of the music festivals that we've had here in St. Kitts, and he's now made it into an event. So it doesn't really matter who is going to be performing. It's an event, so we're all going to the St. Kitts Music Festival. Welcome the chairperson of the St. Kitts Music Festival committee, Mr. Alistair Williams.
Good morning to everyone, and thank you, Mr. Chair, for dating me. You make me feel like I went to Jerusalem High. But I'm delighted to also welcome all of you here to this our press conference on the heels of what can be described as the ultimate experience like no other. when we commence the festival come Thursday evening. I want to start out by saying that what started out as a simple idea in 1996 blossomed into an event unmatched by any measure. Over the years, we stayed true to our vision of creating a different type of music festival to what was the prevailing trend at that time. And at that time, jazz was the order of the day. But we decided to take a different road, and we wanted to produce something more unique, more interesting. And so we decided we're going to go with a music festival, which gave us the latitude to introduce new and enriching genres of music so that an entire family, an entire group of friends can come and enjoy. And we have done that over the years, and we have remained for 20 plus years in the marketplace. And of course, many of our competitors in the region tried to do likewise. For some, it was a bit too late. But for others, they lasted a while, but I mean, we are the only one the last one standing. And it's because of the support that we have received over the years. And I want to pause at this time to express our profound thanks to not only our patrons who come year after year, but also to our sponsors who have supported us from the inception. They understood our vision, and they stayed true to what we are trying to achieve back then. And I want to, at this time, note a few of them, especially for this year. We have our platinum partners, such as the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, Tropical Shipping, the official carrier of the festival, the St. Kitts Marriott Resort, the official resort of the festival, Flow, the official telecommunications provider of the festival, Carrie Brewery, the official beer of the festival, Azul Printers, and Skelec. Our gold partners, St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority, the Embassy of the Republic of China, Taiwan, Digicel, the Cable, and the Royal St. Kitts Resort. And of course, we have our silver partners, the St. Kitts Nevis Lottery, SL Hostels and Company Limited, TDC Group of Companies, and Bronze Island Auto Supply, Quartz Ready for Cash, Bullseye Auto Rentals, Demerara Distillers, Solid Waste Management Corporation, and contributors and donors, Freedom FM, Sol EC Limited, ZIZ, Von Radio, Federation Media Group Limited, affectionately known as WinFM, SKN Newsline and TVC Marketing, Costcab, Poinciana Restaurant, Reggae Beach, Domino's, Bank of Nevis, CNC, Hertz, Barry's, Shiggity Shack, KFC, Palm Court Garden and Restaurant, Spice Mill, Timothy Beach Resort, Old Road Rum, Amory Enterprises, Delta Petroleum, Cox and Screws, and Social Security. It was important for me to note all of our partners and sponsors because as a ministry, we cannot do this mega event alone. We need the support of all our private and, of course, public partners to join us as we create this experience like no other. As the minister indicated, on Thursday, well, I should say not on Thursday because we have already started to receive many of our guests. Our artists begin coming in from tomorrow. And as the minister indicated, it's a tourism product, so we'd want everyone to remember that and to treat our guests the same way we'll treat our guests if they visit our home, so that they'll return. And that is the important thing. We want them to return, not just for the music festival, but we want them to return for a vacation, and not just once, but continuously. And to tell others about it so that they too can come and see what they've been missing all these years. But I was fortunate to have been there those infant years and can attest to the strength of the Kittitian spirit. It would be remiss of me if I did not pause and really mention some of these sponsors who supported us. Some of them have been our foundation sponsors, companies like Tropical Shipping, Flow. They've been with us from inception, and we want to really express our deepest appreciation. And so it was Wednesday, the 26th of June, 1996, when the St. Kitts Music Festival, affectionately known at that time as the Shack Shack Music Festival, burst onto the festival scene. We started out at the Warner Park facility, where we had a melting pot of thousands of people indulging in the first annual event. And we had, if I could remember correctly, the King Elimat and the Jazz Brass. We had quite a number of folklore and cultural presentation, and of course the Suing Ching Chinese ensemble. They basically started off the process on the Wednesday before we moved into the Thursday night performances. And similarly, for the 25th anniversary, we have an extremely outstanding show for our patrons. We want folks to come out early because you never know who's starting the show. So we don't want you to think that your favorite artist will be up last or the middle of the program. You never know. So we're encouraging you to come out early. We have a second stage that will be in operation in the food court. So there'll be entertainment to engage you while you're there. We are planning several giveaways for those persons who come to the gate early. The first 500 to come to the gate early. We have giveaways for them. And sometime during the course of the evening, we'll have a raffle where we'll be raffling off some very attractive prices. So, but in order for you to be in it, you have to win it, you have to be in it. So you have to come early and be a part of it. The ticket outlets today, the Caribbean Lottery, the Cable, Hosford's Value Mart, Courts, Ministry of Tourism, and as of tomorrow, the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. So you can go to any one of those outlets and purchase your tickets for the event. The price is still $50, $135, the best deal in the region, perhaps the world. So we invite you to come on out and support this year's St. Kitts Music Festival. And of course, we have several other fringe events leading up to the first concert on Thursday. We have the Festival Rush, put on by our partner, the Department, the Creative Economy, and that will be from today, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And so it's going to be in downtown Bastille, so we want you to come out and support that initiative. We have Binge Arrival on Tuesday, Escape on Wednesday, and of course the 3 concerts, and then we bring the curtain down on this year's St. Kitts Music Festival with the White Sands at Carambola come Sunday. So we have quite a packed week, so we invite everyone to get enough rest, drink your vitamins, and let's show them how Kittitians party and have fun. So with that said, thank you again for coming, and we look forward to your continued support and attendance come Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I know you speak about the events that's coming up, but as I mentioned earlier, last weekend was a packed weekend, and some of us haven't gotten enough sleep as yet, but I think that we'll be okay. we'll be okay by the time the festival comes. We'll be able to, take as much rest as we want. Only though, considering that this is the summer of fun. So it doesn't end with the music festival. We have Restaurant Week that's coming up, the Nevis Mango Festival, Culturama, the 40th anniversary of independence, CPL, and then of course Sugar Mass 52, which that's my baby. Our next speaker, and as you notice, we're this year for the music festival, and I'm sure someone will mention it. But there was a definite attempt to ensure that locals, homegrown acts and businesses become a part of the show. As a matter of fact, there's 11 local acts that's performing on the music festival this year, and that's probably a record. But in speaking about the next speaker, he's also homegrown, but he's been all over the world, and he's done production for many major artists. Just came back from the Virgin Islands for the St. Thomas Carnival. So we're going to hear now from the production end of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Let's welcome Mr. Azim Bailey.
Thanks a lot, Monarch. And you spoke about the inclusion of the local acts, and I think as I left here a little earlier this morning, walking out, someone met me and they were like, that's one thing that we really wanted to see, a lot more local acts on the festival, and I think that the committee has really done a really good job in ensuring that there's a lot of local representation on this year's music festival, and not only just any token slots, but we have artists that I think are going to do us proud and have earned the right to be on that stage. And I really believe that we all should be proud and come out and support them as such. I have the great pleasure of course, talking about the actual nights of the festival, the production, and being able to, again, list, as I'm sure a lot of you may know, the artists that are going to be present on the stage this year. But before I even go into the list, I just want to ensure, everyone, that preparations have been ongoing. Yesterday, even in the afternoon, actually, most of the speaker systems, lighting systems, all of that stuff has been checked and ready. So we actually just now getting ready to prepare for the artists to come and do their checks as well. But the preparation has been ongoing since last week. The crew is in good spirits. Everything has been going according to plan. And I, for one, am really excited about what is to come, based on what I've already seen. Stage setup, we had the stage started, I think it was last week, Tuesday. And stage was up by 2 days later. And of course, now, like I said, the equipment, that's all been checked. And we're just now waiting for the actual sound checks that should kick off in a few days. But of course, people want to hear who's on the festival this year, and I'm going to go ahead and list that out right now. Now, the Thursday night, which is traditionally, people call it the jump-up night, all right? Well, I think it was the chairman who mentioned that you probably need to go ahead and get yourself energized from now, start taking your vitamins, get your water and thing, because in the words of the immortal Michael Jackson, we're going to don't stop till we get enough, right? Because it is a lineup that is packed full of energetic artists. We have, of course, Patrice Roberts, who I know a lot of people have been waiting to see. I could tell just from what I've read on the social media that she's one of the artists that people have been clamoring. Even during the pandemic, she had been working. And so now she's here, looking forward to an amazing performance. We have Skinny Fabulous, Nyla Blackman, Ricardo Drew. We also have Dexter Daps as well on the Thursday night. So it is, of course, the jump-up night, but of course there's going to be need for a little bit of cool down somewhere in during the night. So we have Dexter Daps. Now, one of the things I want to highlight, I spoke about the local artists, but one of the things that the committee really focused on was giving that stage and that spotlight to some of our local soca acts. And we're having what is being referred to as the Sugar Mass Soca Review. And it includes 4 artists, and I'll list them out. Mr. Bagnall, Nichoby, Stadix, and Akayu Sweet. Now, for those of you who might not have realized, 3 of those acts are past Soca Monarch Kings. And Akayu Sweet has one of the, I think you can't even argue it anymore, one of the biggest songs in soca a few years back, Brockett Set It, that is still to this day a staple in any soca fete anywhere in the world. And so we have artists that have been making a huge impact worldwide, and they are going to be able to bring some of that to the music festival stage this year. Now, we also can't have a jump-up night without our local bands. It is impossible. And we have 4 of the premier bands this year on the festival. We have Small X Band, Grandmasters Band, New Vibes Band, International, and of course, Collision Band, right? And so no matter which band you support, you're going to come out, you're going to rep your band, and of course, support all of them. This act that I'm going to say next, I think, has really positioned themselves as being one of the premier soca acts. And we're talking, of course, about none other than Kes the Band. I have been talking to people, meeting people on the streets who just seem to be so excited to be able to see Kes back here in St. Kitts. He's been here before, and people can't get enough. And so for those of you who are looking forward to seeing Kes do what he does with his band, of course, Thursday Night Music Festival is the place to be. Now, I think I spoke for almost my 5 minutes on just listing out the names for the Thursday night. But it is going to be a very tight show, run very smoothly. And so, of course, it means that you don't want to miss anything. As we've been saying, please come out early, because from the time you hit the gate, it's non-stop energy action on that Thursday night. So please, guys, make sure you come out, support all the acts. And yeah, I know a lot of you are looking forward to what we have in store. On a Friday night, we have Skillibeng, Anthony B, Governor, Coffee, 313 Family, and Chronics, right? That in itself, I think, it's just, I don't even understand how anybody could want more. But there is. There is. Because at this particular time, we're enjoying and basking in the success of one of our homegrown talents right here, Mr. Byron Messiah, who is going to be with us on Friday as well. Guys, we have seen the videos all over TikTok. We've seen the videos on social media of how the crowds react. Nobody gonna outdo us. I ain't even worried. I know on Friday night, we are going to fully represent and just really just join in the success that he's having. And people are so excited for this almost, it's like a return home, right, for Byron. And I really am excited personally to see him be a part of that performance. And guys, you don't want to miss it. This is history in the making. You don't want to hear about it. You want to say, I was there when Byron came home for the music festival. And so, of course, that's Friday night, one more time. 313 Family, Byron Messiah, Governor Skillibeng, Chronics, Coffee, Anthony B. This Saturday evening, that's the 24th, we have Erica Edwards, one of our songstresses. She represented us so well at the regional artist showcase in Jamaica just a few months ago. Blew everyone away. And so that is definitely an act that you don't want to miss. Romain Virgo is going to be here. Valiant, TJ, Gramps Morgan as well. And of course, they're no stranger to the Music Fest stage. but guys, they are just one of the acts that you can't get enough of, and that's Air Supply. Air Supply is back. I know there are a lot of people who are excited, looking forward to that particular performance, and so you don't want to miss it. And of course, the African giant himself is going to be here, Burna Boy. So Saturday is of course, is every night of the music festival this year, I think, exceeds anyone's expectation. It is definitely a lineup that offers something for everybody, that positions itself, in my opinion, to be one of the best festivals ever. So, guys, make sure you come out. Of course, come out on time, come out early. I know gates open, I think it's at 5 o'clock, and things will be happening from early. So, guys, make sure you're in, make sure you're there. You don't want to miss it. One of the issues that people might have, not issues but concerns, would have been the length of the festival, seeing that we have such a packed night. And guys, I want to assure you that I want to be able to get home before the sun comes up so I could come back for the next night. I don't know about you all, but I want to make sure that I come the next night ready for what is on the stage, making sure that I could enjoy every second of it. And so we, as the part of the production, we are really pushing to ensure that the festival is run tight, run smooth, and we really don't want you guys to miss it. So make sure you guys come out early, come out on time, come out with your dancing shoes on for an amazing festival, in my opinion, one that could be the best one yet. And yeah, of course, I'll answer any questions at the end, but that to me is just a lineup that you couldn't ask for more. You really couldn't ask for more. But thank you guys so much.
An experience like no other. I think that's what the lineup tells us about the St. Kitts Music Festival this year. Now, the St. Kitts Tourism Authority has been a force behind the St. Kitts Music Festival for many years. And today we have the CEO from the authority here with us, Mr. Tommy Thompson, who will speak to you briefly.
Good morning, thank you. So as everybody coming up to me and saying, you all don't know we gotta go to work Friday, why you put so many acts on Thursday? So I'm gonna send that to you. But this is a really exciting time for us in St. Kitts, especially the Tourism Authority. It gives us something to really market during the summer months that are traditionally kind of slow. So we're very, very happy with the fact that American Airlines has put on additional flights on the 21st and the 25th. And this is actually the first international festival that they've actually done this for. But any time they've done it, it's been for a domestic festival in the United States. So St. Kitts, again, a home run for us. And Minister mentioned the fact that we've got additional lifts with Inter-Caribbean as well. They're putting on additional flights for us, and they've been telling us they're full. And in fact, the McCanna, they're also full as well. So it's going to be a great event for regional travel. We already have media here in St. Kitts. We've got Bajan Tube here already. Also the Grenada National Media Center, which is part of Carib News Update. And the rest of the media comes in on Wednesday. We're going to have Billboard, Ebony, Fall Magazine, Loop Caribbean, Soca News. And Soca News have actually been running a series of articles with them year-round since the last music festival, and this is out of the UK. So they're also going to be bringing visitors to St. Kitts for this. We also partnered with Sackville Travel in the UK so that people who wanted to book a package with the tickets were able to do that. We've also had a competition with Soca News where we're giving out 40 tickets to coincide with the 40th anniversary of independence. So we've also got The Source, Vibes FM, and also Laser 101 out of St. Martin, All Access TV St. Martin, The Avril Show, BRBP TV, Boom Shops Media. So this is really going to be a fantastic time for us. And everybody, again, been asking me how many joints are we allowed to bring into the, to the music festival, so thank you for clarifying that, Minister. And my advice to all my friends who are coming, bring a second liver. That might be really helpful for you on this time. But one of the great things about the Summer of Fun is this gives us an opportunity to really market St. Kitts and to move us from a seasonal destination into a year-round destination. And that is definitely the strategy that we're pursuing. And the fact that next year we're going to have JetBlue that's going to be flying year-round is going to give us better penetration out of the U.S. market. And we're also going to have United flying up until August. So definitely we can be putting some more effort into those markets to get more international guests from North America. For us, the Caribbean used to be our second largest market. We're now moving back to get that dominance back again. And of course, that is, the Caribbean market is events driven. So this is a perfect vehicle for us to attract more visitors. Again, as has been said, we've also got the Nevis Mango Festival, Restaurant Week, Culturama, and also CPL, which is going to be extremely important for us, again, for Caribbean market. And Minister will have some additional news later on or early next month regarding some additional stuff going to happen. And it's going to make it much more easier for people to get here. So all in all, this is a great event. And I think everybody is going to have a great time. And we want to make sure that our visitors come here, they have a great time. Again, tell their families and friends, come back, and we're going to make sure that the wealth of tourism now through this festival gets spread out throughout the community. So all our vendors, taxi drivers, excursion operators, everybody benefits from this. So that is what we really want to make sure happens, that the economic value, the economic benefits from this concert goes throughout the community. Thank you.
All right, and thank you very much, Tommy. And as he indicated, we have a host of media organizations that's coming in to cover our festival. And of course, you know, we implore the local media to do the same as well, because it's very important that we tell our own story here in St. Kitts. And Tommy, you also mentioned that the minister will have additional information. I mean, that seems to be the trend since, you know, Marsha became our first female minister of tourism. So congratulations.
We promised her that she would be a rock star, so we're just living up to the promise.
And congratulations, of course, to the hard-working team in the ministry and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority and our sister agencies at SCASPA and UDC as well.
All right, thank you. And no festival is ever successful unless we're safe and that we're secure as well. So joining us today is Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Adolph Adams, that is, and he will tell you how to be safe and secure at the music festival. Mr. Adams, over to you.
Yes, thank you, Monarch. And I also want to thank the Minister for outlining a number of things that I would have to say. So, you know, police don't like to talk about 420, but it's, but it's something we have to accept, and so we're going forward. Well, my role is to talk about safety and security and about parking and traffic management as well. And I think if we get those things rectified, we will be on our way to a very beautiful music festival. We have done our risk assessment and threat assessment, and I can safely say that there are no specific threats identified that are directed to any individual or any groups that would be participating in our music festival, and so that is a plus for us. However, with the new focus on security and the emphasis on terrorism and global terrorism, security is always a concern, and so we are not taking any chances anywhere. All right, so I just want that to be out there. Security, crowd control, and public safety could never be overemphasized. And so our job there would be to ensure that our patrons, our VIPs, our artists, everybody remain safe in the environment that we would be operating. Notwithstanding that though, there are a few risks that we will have to endeavor or encounter. And these includes medical emergencies, domestic crimes, some of the times public safety. We also have some crazy people who will talk about bomb threats, stage fires, a stage collapse, traffic accident and congestions that we don't like. And of course, we understand that there is I don't even want to talk about it, but a pending storm, which I hope comes next week, Monday. And so everything would be fine. But those are things that we have to put in place and plan to mitigate against. All right? Even though they are almost minimal, we have to mitigate against them. This year, rather than working individually, the number of agencies, we came together and we formed what we term a safety and security management team. The team comprised of the St. Kitts Nevis Defense Force, the police force, medical fraternity, the fire and rescue, the Red Cross, the NEMA, and also, I spoke about the medicals already. And so we are, instead of operating individually, we want to operate collectively. And this is aimed at providing a comprehensive protection and assistance for all festival attendees. Our joint effort will coordinate and communicate between the security forces and the medical and other security agencies. So we feel as though if we work together and we collaborate our efforts, you will see a smoother safety and security effort from all of us. I will go into the part that a lot of us don't like, and it is the traffic management. So as speakers before me, I would want to encourage all to be early and to avoid some of the congestions that we anticipate that might happen. I am anticipating that the whole of St. Kitts and the whole of Nevis will be coming to the festival. So in order to get to Warner Park, there would be some level of congestion. So I'm urging persons to even leave home at 6 p.m. So at least you could be there on time and avoid some of the rush that we will encounter. To encourage vehicular circulation around the venue and the ease of parking, traffic flow on Victoria Road, and all of us know Victoria Road is, it will be made into a one-way. And the traffic direction will be flowing from south to north. When you get to the top, you can turn either left or right as vehicular traffic on Taylor's Range would be flowing both ways. When it comes to East Park Range, it's again a one-way. You will be traveling from north to south on that road. For those of you who may understand, there's a small road that is above the NHC. That road would be a one-way as well, and you can only travel from west to east on that road. Blizzard Road would be restricted. There will be no traffic flowing on that road except for members of cabinet or shuttles from for VIP. So that will be restricted for regular vehicular traffic. We will also have public parking for the general patrons, and the minister outlined that already. The Basti High School would be available for public general parking. The parking up at the football field up at Beach Island area would be for VIP parking. The whole of Bastia, all the roads in Bastia would be available for parking, but you would park there mainly at your own risk. Of course, we would have patrols moving around to ensure that people's vehicles remain safe, but at the specified areas of parking, we will have security designated to those areas to ensure that your vehicles and your other valuables that will remain behind remain safe. All right? And that is one of the reasons why I would want to encourage persons to be there early. So at least you could get some of the choice parking. There will be other parking areas, but those parking areas would be based on, of course, accreditation and based on, of course, vehicle identification and so forth. All right. So I want to encourage the general audience, the general public to come early to avoid some of the congestion. If we work together as a team, a lot of things could be eliminated in dealing with this music festival. I will not go into vendors because it doesn't make any sense right now. But Victoria Road, sorry, there will be no parking on Victoria Road. Reason being, that is the area that we will use as the emergency route to the hospital. So we don't want that road to become congested. If we are going to be allowing one lane of traffic, we must allow the other part of the road to be free if there is a medical emergency or any type of emergency. Our emergency vehicles or our apparatus can move freely in that area. I wouldn't speak about the artist route and where the government ministers and those things and those persons would park because based on security risk, I don't want to give out that information, and so. But those things would be factored in our plans as well. I just want to alert persons that the areas that I outlined earlier and spoke about no parking, as long as you park there will be something in place to remove your vehicle. And of course, it will be removed at your own risk. You'll have to pay to get back your vehicle. So I'm urging all to not park in any of the restricted areas. The restricted areas would be in place as of Wednesday midnight, and it will go until the end of the music festival. The one-way restrictions would be in place from 6 p.m., and it will be released at least a half an hour after the music festival based on how things are flowing. All right, so I want everybody to be clear with regards to these things. The festival venue, I can assure you, will be under constant surveillance and monitoring to ensure the safety and security of the premises, the equipment, attendees, during and after the event. And we will be looking, well, mostly, police and security, we'll be looking at signs of crime. And so in order for us to prevent crime, we'll have to look for the signs. We'll have to identify trespassers. Those of you who like to jump over the wall, we're going to be paying close attention to you. All right? We have a place designated for you as well. Not the smoking area. You'll have your own area. All right? We also will be monitoring our CC cameras to ensure that safety remains tight. We want safety and security to be on display at the music festival. We want you to feel safe. We want you to feel comfortable. And at the end, we want you to enjoy the festival. There are a number of prohibited items that we won't allow based on, of course, again, safety and security. No backpacks will be allowed at the venue. No recording devices, and you know what they are. No selfie sticks, so leave them at home or in your vehicle. Outside beverages, not allowed. No metal glass, no metal or glass bottles would be allowed at the venue. Laptops, no. Firearms and other weapons, no. And I can assure you, you will be arrested and you will be taken to the place where I know you don't want to go as well. So no weapons at any type would be on the venue. Illegal drugs are not at the venue as well. Don't be thinking about cannabis. Cannabis is not illegal anymore. So from tomorrow. No aerosols or flammable liquids. We don't want those on the venue. No air horns, no coolers. So this is not cooler fit. Leave your coolers at home. No drones would be on the venue other than those assigned to the festival committee and those who were doing for the festival. And of course, no mask would be allowed on the venue unless it's one of those surgical or medical masks. All right? So if you want to hide your face, the music festival venue is not for you. All right? the minister spoke about the designated smoking area, so I won't want to go too much into that. But what I would say is that this is the first time we are having a designated area for smoking, and I want you to designate your smoking to that area. All right? Smoking beyond that area, we will be dealing with that very, very severely, because we have other persons who will be at the venue. This is not about just smokers. Everybody come to the venue for an enjoyment or for a good experience. And if you come to the venue and you smoke beyond those areas or the smoking area, you will be extracted, or you can be arrested as well for obstruction based on your persistence once police speak to you. All right? So I want you to take this very, very, very seriously. An area was created for smoking. Please utilize that area. All right? Other areas, we will have them heavily policed. And I know I have some young boasting policemen who want to show off on you. So please don't go smoke in the general areas. Stay in your area. We have no problem with it. The law has been changed to accommodate that. And so I just want to make that very, very clear that we won't be tolerating smoking in the general areas. As part of our safety and security team, I mentioned the medical, the EMS, and so they will be playing a significant role as well. And so we know exactly what they will be there for, all right? The different, not having them could be the difference between life and death. And so they are part of our team, and we will be having them on board, and we will be working closely together. Our safety and security team, we want everyone to have an enjoyable and memorable 25th Music Festival. We are working very hard to ensure that our environment remains safe. All we ask of you is to just bring along your best behavior. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ACP Adams, for the reassurance of safety and security. Now, you also mentioned something about a storm. As far as I know, the only storm that's coming to St. Kitts this week is the St. Kitts Music Festival. Just before I bring the next speaker on, though, I want to acknowledge someone in the audience, Mr. Bijan Lamari Bass, who is the 2023 St. Kitts Music Festival photography lead. He didn't expect that, but... Okay, now we can move on. Our next speaker would be Mr. Loftus Bridgewater, who is going to tell us more about the venue and the infrastructure.
Good morning, all. Thanks for coming. Mine is very short. As of today, as Mr. Bailey said earlier, we are very comfortable with the production area, the build-out of the site. I think we are ahead of time, so to speak, in regards to other festivals before. So it's just a matter for us to do the last finishing touches between today and tomorrow. Hopefully, the sites would be completed by tomorrow. This year's festival is somewhat different in regards to we having two elements this year. We have a super concert, which is on the cricket field, and we have a very energetic party, which is going to be on the food court area. So what is happening is in between each act on the main stage, there's a party that kicks in as soon as one of the acts are finished to fill that gap between the next artist. So the patrons would be allowed to venture over into the football area, where they will have a series of bars to provide their refreshments. And while they're there, they will be able to be entertained by DJs and some folklore throughout the whole night. The idea is to, as I said, just to create an environment where everybody is happy. You could be at the bar and still enjoy the festival, because it's going to be streamed on both stages. whatever happens at the main stage is going to be viewed in the food court simultaneously, and vice versa. When the food court comes alive, those at the main stage also can be able to see what's going on in the food court. So that's the first time, and hopefully it's part of the experience in this 25th anniversary. The Kittisham village we have this year is on the entrance, close to the entrance experience, and my colleague next to me will speak about that in short term, but there's some artisans that's going to be just as you enter the staircase from the Lozak Road area onto the mound. There's going to be an experience that's going to be happening there, which includes some artisans, and those will be persons who will be providing some of the local stuff that is being manufactured here on the island, along with some of our cuisines and stuff like that. Gates, general admission, is the Lozak end next to where the football houses. That will be partly between general admission and the express events entrance. Carambolas and the Heart of St. Kitts Venture Deeper box would be on the East Park Range ticket booth area next to NHC. So those will be for those two, and the express events would be, as I said, at the general entrance on Lozak Road. Apart from that, that's the update from my end. As I said, we are pretty happy to be in this position, and we are hoping that we will have a very awesome event for the 25th anniversary. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bridgewater, and definitely we will have an awesome event. Now, I think most of you guys went to the opening of Sugar Mass 51 last year, and we had that great experience put on by the Ministry of Creative Economy. And today we're going to hear from them as well about the festival Rush. We have Marcia Jeffers, who is a dance specialist, and she will tell us more how much we need to rush this week.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, all. And indeed, it is a rush. And the Department of Creative Economy is pleased to collaborate with the Ministry of Tourism to present this experience for everyone. Our first project is, as you know, Festival Rush. It starts this evening, so from 4 until about 7, right at Flow. It's at after work at Flow, after work show at Flow. You can come and experience musical performances, folklore performances. You have DJs. Very exciting in preparation for the festival, because we want to build the atmosphere of festiveness, festivity, excitement, hype, what have you, because we want to showcase our local talents and to get people. We know people are already here on the grounds, and not just persons coming in, but our local acts as well, our local residents as well could experience and prepare themselves for what is to come on the weekend, coming off of that excellent show we had last night. So that's Festival Rush. It's a new name, but it's basically what we call Front Stage from last year. Those of you who remember, it's a performance or an event that basically showcases budding artists. For instance, last year we had Erica Edwards on our front stage. She's now on the main stage. And so part of the vision is to propel the local acts, give them the avenue to express themselves so that they can have that opportunity to be on Music Festival stage. So that's Monday, tomorrow, and Wednesday right at Flow. After work, you have nowhere else to go. Just chill out on 4th Street with us, experience some of our local folklore and DJs and dance companies. We have 2 awesome dance companies that will be on show, so you don't want to miss that. The airport experience, that's another project that is spearheaded by our Department of Creative Economy. When residents come home, or tourists rather, we want them to experience who we are, our culture, our dance, our music. And so from Wednesday right down to Saturday, we are going to have folklore again at the airport and drumming. Everybody loves drumming. And so as they enter As they exit the aircraft, our major flights from Wednesday right down to Saturday, they would have a rush, Monarch, of our folklore and our culture right in their face to welcome them. And we know our folklore is very, very, very vivid and to look at, very, very pretty. So we want them to have that experience. The main thing, the most exciting, is on the night. And we're hearing this word experience. So as you come in to the music festival, you would be greeted with merch. So we have the glow sticks, we have thunder sticks, we have rags, paraphernalias, things that you can enjoy at the music festival. We have prepared, in collaboration with the Pillars of Tourism, some booths that are going to be very, very creative, very inviting. We have 4 booths in particular: culinary, we have culture, we have the eco-adventures, and we have romance, all in collaboration with the deep venture deeper theme that tourism is pushing. When you come, for instance, to the romance, you would be experiencing a lounge kind of area. You sip some wine, you see some rose petals, you can hang out with your wife, your other significant being. Hopefully it's yours. You can have that experience even before, as you wait to be treated on the main stage. You can have that little downtime. If you're not into the romance thing, you just come in by yourself, or you come in with a friend, slip over to the cultural booth. We get yourself some nice local treats, some sugar cakes, some tamarind jams, guava cheese, all samples, all free. So you can just sit and enjoy that taste, that sweet treat that we have to offer in St. Kitts. So we want people to remember, boy, when I come to music festival, that sugar cake, they banging. We have those kind of experience. It's a photo booth, it's a photo opportunity, so you can hop on the 360, or you can just chill out at the booth and enjoy these sweet treats. And everybody love a little free food, so I know all of you are going to be coming. We have snow cone, or what we call fuego, sauce up and coconut. We all love those things. So especially on the Thursday night, when you're done jump up, you come and refresh yourself. And it's not just for the arrival experience. When you finish, if you don't want to go over by we want everybody to go there, but you have options. You can slip over on the football field, or you can come back to the entrance at the arrival experience and have these treats, chocolate and wine and rum tasting, all of those things that you love to enjoy in a restaurant style, like a mini cuisine for the culinary section. And so we want to really give the experience when you arrive, even before you get to experience on the main stage. Monarch would have mentioned the opening of Carnival, and everybody, even before the acts were on stage, everybody was already satisfied and they got their money's worth, and you didn't pay. So we want that experience to transfer, an experience like no other, we say. That is it, what we are presenting for the Department of Creative Economy.
All right, thank you, Marcy. I noticed that you were very delicate and conservative when it comes to the significant other. In St. Kitts Nevis, we just said a side chick. So we're at the end of the presentations, and we're now gonna ask the media to, of course, join us. Please state your name, media house that you represent, and we'll take 2 questions initially, and if we have time, we'll do a second round. All right? Well, initially. 2 questions initially. You have more questions than that?
2 questions per person.
Per person. Okay.
Good morning. LaShawn Dixon, St. Kitts News Observer. Mention was made of the storm, but from a proactive standpoint, with 1 year in the storm, what contingencies are in place, what backups are in place in case it does, because it potentially could affect us? What alternatives are in place for that? And secondly, what is the current room stock in St. Kitts and Nevis, and what capacity of that are you expecting to be filled for the festival this week?
Okay, so in terms of the contingency plan, We are working with all stakeholders, including the hoteliers, the venue. The St. Kitts Music Festival, of course, is securing the venue. We're in close dialogue with our team at the Met Office at SCASPA, and of course with the persons who are scheduled to be coming in. We're not going to be talking about the Plan B yet, but there is a Plan B in terms of whether or not we're able to actually execute on the nights. But we do have the contingency plan in place, working with all persons involved. The room stock, Tommy, how much is that again?
We're about 2,700 rooms.
Thereabout.
And when you're looking at occupancy, the hotels that are in the vicinity of Frigate Bay, downtown, they're doing very well. The ones that are further out are still a bit challenged.
Mervan Thompson, ZIZ. Will there be multiple clearly marked exit points at the grounds? And what response do you have for lighters specifically? Is it a prohibited item? How do we light these pre-roll joints that we're coming with, etc.?
Yes, there will be clearly marked exits. We are working diligently with Azul printers in regards to identifying those exits, and hopefully soon we will have something that will speak to exactly where they are.
And as it relates to bringing of lighters, initially when the committee was planning, we had intended to have the electric lighters installed in the lounge. We were not able to get them on island in time, and so our friends at the St. Christopher and Nevis the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force would be working with us to have our patrons enter the grounds with lighters. Is that correct, ACP?
Yes, well, there will be no other way to get them light. We'll allow some discussion when it comes to lighter on that night.
Right, so no matches, but lighters. No scissors, though.
Good morning, all. Glenn Barrett, SKN Newsline. First of all, the local media. You have mentioned a lot about the regional and international media that's coming in. Can you tell me how are you all interacting with the local media to promote this festival for this year? Secondly, with regards to requirements from ECO, have all the necessary requirements been made with regards to making sure that the issues that we've had in the past do not resurface like in some previous engagements of music festival? Those are my two initial questions. I do have more.
We know you have more.
Our communications coordinator, Jonette Boyd, is there, so she will be able to answer for us the local media.
Okay, good morning, everyone. In terms of local media, so accreditation ended on Friday, and we are currently in the process of informing all of those persons who applied and were successful in securing accreditation. So everyone should know by the end of today who would receive the accreditation pass, as well as additional information on where you would be able to collect that pass.
And in terms of ECHO, we, to be transparent, last year we had a balance that was brought forward from the festival in 2022, that we have secured funds to clear. We've made all the relevant arrangements with them for this year as well. So it's a go as it relates to ECHO. Things are in place. think we got an email 2 days ago. Yes, so we're in discussions with them as well.
Good morning, David Richardson from Buckingham Media. Mr. Bridgewater, I'm happy about the food court. My question is, how many bars are we looking at by the food court? And are these bars just going to be located at the food court, or are we going to have more bars by the main stage? Those are my two questions for now.
All bars are in one area, the food court and the football field, and the total amount of bars is 13.
And of course, we have to make sure that the pitch and the fields are ready. You know, we have CONCACAF coming up in August, and we have CPL as well in August. So we could not place bars on the fields for that reason. So we've put them in one space down on the football field. That should make it easier for after the festival is over. So we couldn't accommodate everybody. We get in some licks, me particularly, but my backs are broad, literally and figuratively as well. So, but we couldn't realistically accommodate everybody, and we have to make sure that our venues, we hand them back to SKNFA and to the cricket persons as well at the end of the festival.
Just to add to the question, so there's going to be a screen by the food court, so you could actually just stay here and see the whole entertainment, right?
Yes.
A screen and a stage.
What provisions are in place to facilitate parking for persons who live on Lozak Road and other roads where traffic restrictions will be effected?
Let me just say, the last time I checked, there were only about 4 persons living on that street who would have vehicles, and so that would be easily managed. With regards to Park Range, East Park Range, parking would be allowed on the eastern side of that road, and I'm sure that the residents there would want to take up the parking there before persons would park in the evening. All right. On the eastern side of East Park Range, parking would be allowed along that floor of road.
Anyone else? Mr. Batch, you can get your second round now.
First of all, with regards to the smoking lounge, and you mentioned that, yes, it's been done as part of the constitutional rights of citizens to partake in that kind of activity. But what about also the rights of others, those who live close by the event site? At this time of the year, the wind is not very strong, and so I expect with such a high concentration of puffing that some of it will go into residential areas. There's some people who have asthma situations and so forth. How do you balance that against constitutional rights of both sides? Secondly, with regards to the facilities, could you just explain a little bit more about the sanitation issues and where you're taking care of them, where the facility is going to be, washrooms, toilets, etc. I think you need to explain a little bit more about that. And also, can someone explain how do you actually take a festival like this and utilize it for the promotion of the country and to get additional visitors into the country, let's say into the following year? What exactly do you do to use this festival and translate that into heads in bed, so to speak?
In regards to the venue and sanitization, the service providers that we have acquired for for this event. Our season personnel in regards to making sure that the highly trafficked areas, the bar rooms and stuff like that, are all sanitized as much as possible to make sure that we have a very clean environment. There are going to be a series of portable toilets also on site. Most of them would be in the football area. I think the minister is also in consultation with the other minister in regards to what we know is our water problem at evenings, to see if that can be keep continuous throughout the festival, because that could be a nightmare in regards to the amount of attendees that we expect to have at the festival. So in terms of sanitation, we are on the ball in regards to making sure that everything is safe and ready for the festival.
The media that we actually have coming to this music festival, the reason that they are here is so that they can cover the festival and then give us publicity in the markets where they're coming from. So that's part of what we're doing. Also, each year, when we have our sales meetings, we always make sure that the music festival is definitely one of the items that we discuss and ways that we promote it, not only to consumers, but also to the travel trade. We also have the discussions with the airlines in terms of getting the additional lift. Now, next year is going to be a lot easier for us in terms of the lift. When we look at JetBlue, that's going to be year-round, 3 times a week, so it's going to be a lot easier for us to penetrate the Northeast market. So the media that is here currently, that's who we're using. And then the influencers who are coming, they're also going to be doing stories from St. Kitts. And they're not only covering the festival, but they're also going out into the destination, into the community, to our tourist sites, taking advantage of the activities that we have. So they put together really travel logs about St. Kitts. So that is how we use the festival to get additional heads and beds for next year.
And as it relates to the balancing of constitutional rights and the safety of our citizens, of course, at the end of the day, the harsh reality is that people come to the music festival and they smoke nonetheless. This is not the first time that persons are going to be puffing, as you say. Every year, I don't know if you come, Mr. Bat, but if you do, the office, the ACP will tell you they can stay from their command post and see where the smoke is coming from. So the reality is that we have persons who come to the festival and smoke in the crowd. I think that is what causes the issues. However, the strategic positioning of the lounge will allow the smoke to go into a direction, because it's on the, and I'm not very good with directions, Loftus, that's what, the south? No. The north, see? On the northern side of the mound, and at the back of the football field, it's unoccupied, it's not in use. The food court is actually on the other side. And I think it was the ACP who told me that that is enough distance. We walked the venue, and it just goes into the air. It doesn't travel like the Canadian smoke that came down to New York from the wildfires. It just disappears, whether it's cigarettes, vape, or cannabis. It just goes a certain distance, and we're utilizing that end of the venue so that the smoke travels on the back of the football field, which is not occupied. The houses are actually over on Nevis Street and Victoria Road, which is further down. I don't ever think that house is occupied, but the residents of Nevis Street are a distance away from the lounge. So the persons likely to be affected, if at all, would be if we have patrons smoking within the crowd.
I'm not sure if this was addressed. I was off island for a few weeks. In terms of patrons stamping on the ground, dirt, like what we had at one, Kim Collins, and possibly before at Music Fest too.
What's the question?
Sorry. The dirt rising, that affecting person's respiratory system and stuff like that.
So it's grass. It has grass all over, right? Yes. So it's not. Kim Collins, the venue there was different. At Warner Park, there's grass. From what I saw, save and except in the area where, but in fact, the pitch has grass grown into it already as well when we went there. So it's nice and green with grass.
But then that's the thing, like constant moving of it would uproot the grass. So I don't know. I think there was some other festival, there was a matting that was put down, but patrons probably rubbed through that as well. But what consideration can be done, or what can be done to hopefully alleviate that as much as possible?
We don't anticipate any rise of dust from the event areas because both fields are always manicured and maintained. So the level of dirt that you're speaking about would not be a concern for us this year. We have had heavy equipment moving back and forth, and there has been very little dust risen in the atmosphere in regards to any concern-wise. So the patrons having the festive times, I don't think they'll have any issue for us in regards to dust.
Right, and we've had festivals there before, so.
Also, if you're very susceptible to light dust, we would recommend that you walk with a surgical mask so that you can, have it. Well, I don't think it's going to be an issue, but just in case, you could have the preventative measure, so to speak.
And if your concern was handing the venue back to the Football Association so that it's ready for CONCACAF, they've assured us that the space between the end of the festival and the commencement of these leagues is sufficient for the grounds to be ready.
All right, guys, we got just a couple minutes because we're actually running over time right now, so we'll take a couple more questions and then we'll wrap up.
Just quickly, in terms of the smoking area, Minister, how many persons are you looking at to visit that area? And suppose I'm a non-smoker, but I just like to smell it. Would I be able to go up there and just smell away?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Would I be restricted to say I'm a non-smoker?
Not at all. You have, once you're over 18, you have access, and you have an ID, you have access to the lounge. And so you don't need to be a smoker to access it. In terms of capacity, we have, is it 500 afters? Yes, 500. It has a capacity for up to 500 smokers and non-smokers.
And what about underground? Because previous fest, we see how, especially on the Thursday night, which is said to be one of the largest nights, where it's very crammed and persons tends to get a bit claustrophobic. So what kind of capacity are we looking at in terms of by the main stage? So persons can, move about and party good and not be squinged to each other.
Let me say, last year we had about 29,000 square foot of space for the patrons to partake at the front of the stage. This year is what, 40, 42, 47? 49,000 square feet. So we have more than enough space that we had last time. So those who want to be more upfront can enjoy the upfront experience. Those who want to just be in the back and have more space around them could also do that. But absolutely, there is no smoking outside of the smoking area. And Bucky, is it because you don't want to walk with your giants?
And of course, we've had 14,000 at the Kim Collins Football Stadium a couple of years ago. All right.
Also, based on what the lady was asking, we also have the medical team on board, which can be housed within the venue and Red Cross. So they would be allowed to move around the venue and see if anybody needs any medical assistance early. We're trying to be proactive and not be reactive. So if we see someone that may need some help, all of us are our brother's keeper. So if we could just identify that I think that person might need some assistance, then it helps us to create the environment.
All right, so we'll take our last question.
To find out, compared to, let's say, the two previous festivals, what is the financial expectation in terms of economic benefit a rough estimate in terms of what is expected that this music festival is going to generate into the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis for this year compared to last year, for example?
Okay, so we did a rough estimate when we did the submissions to the cabinet for funding. I know in terms of the return on the investment, I don't have the figures to hand, but there was an assessment done that we can make available to you. But we anticipate an increase in flights, the rooms to be filled as well. We don't have the comparison from, and I see my peers helping me here, tell me. Right. I can't hear her, but we did the assessment. We did our comparison from the last 2 years to present to the cabinet. I can't say offhand, so and I don't want to delve into that, but there should be some return on the investment. We haven't taken up the cost in terms of the return to the music festival. We can't say because we haven't taken up the cost. We anticipate maybe more tickets would be sold, but the overall investment as it relates to the economy, I would prefer to look to the assessment done by the technocrats and the experts.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to end now, but I'll allow the minister to give us a brief wrap.
Okay, so there's one thing I think, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think we forgot the issue that's been circulating in terms of the age, the minimum age for persons willing to attend the festival. And I stand corrected, Mr. Chairman. I don't think there is any minimum age, but if you're under 18, you must be supervised at all times. So someone under 18 cannot come to the festival alone. You must be supervised by an adult. So don't drop your child by the gate and say, I'm going to come back for you.
Is that to say that every person that's trying to enter would be subjected to presenting the ID?
No.
You can't look at someone and say, okay, you look 18, you don't look 18.
No. And for those of you who are not hearing the question in the audience, it was whether patrons would be subjected to a check for IDs. And the police is saying it's discretionary. Is it discretionary? They want to retain the discretion to do that, of course, because if you're 10 and you're presenting an ID, or you're 10 and you're presenting a ticket, they may very well ask you for your ID and you're a supervising adult. But generally, there's no requirement to bring your ID, but we don't want children, and there's a concern, of course, from the Department of Child Care. They've called and they would be working with us on the night. Of course, the smokers' lounge is there, and we have alcohol on sale there. So we need to be very careful in terms of the execution. So please, if you're bringing your children, please make sure that they are supervised. Otherwise, they may be refused entry at the gate if there is no supervising adult with them. We want to thank our partners. I see a lot of you here as we continue our efforts in the ministry to diversify the tourism product. The music festival, as we say, is a part of this. This is our pilot project into the cannabis industry. We have our team who is monitoring and working hard on this part of the overall product. I got a notice to remind patrons of the night market as well. So we're collaborating with the Ministry of Agriculture. On Wednesday nights, the night markets, I think, starts at 5. We have some special plans, and I don't know if I have permission to say, but I will go ahead nonetheless and say it. We have special plans for one of the local acts who would be performing and who would be coming home. I think it's sometime this week. We're going to have a grand ceremony at the airport. I can't tell you what, but he will get something for access to the city. So stay tuned. We may ask you to come up to the airport and support us in this initiative as well. And I think that's it. Thank you very much for coming out. We look forward to having an experience like no other. I just want to thank Alistair as well, our chairman and his team. They've been working extremely hard. We took the decision to bring the management of the festival back within the ministry. And of course, this was to just make sure that we are in control of, what's happening with the festival. And so I want to thank Alyssa for stepping up and, for executing and working diligently to make sure that this year's festival is like no other. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we want to thank you very much for joining us here today. Win FM, ZIZ, Von Radio, and of course, you who viewed on the St. Kitts Music Festival's YouTube and Facebook page. Got a message that the flight out of Houston was delayed today, so the Miami connection has been missed. Well, you probably can go to St. Martin, Antigua or some, and come up on the McKenna Ferry. That's the message I got from my friend here. So again, we want to thank you. We'll be back here at 10 o'clock on Thursday morning, and we'll be joined by some of the acts that's going to be performing on Thursday night. We'll do the same thing on Friday, and we'll do the same thing on Saturday as well. So thank you very much for coming out. You can have yourself some refreshment, and we'll see you on Thursday.
It's the moment you've been waiting for. The second wave of artists performing at the 25th edition of the St. Kitts Music Festival. Patrice Roberts, Chronics, Coffee, Byron Messiah, Grandmasters, Valiant, Governor, Ear Supply, Skinny Fabulous, and Skelly Bang. Book now and save the date. June 22nd to the 24th, 2023. It's the 25th anniversary of the St. Kitts Music Festival. An experience like no other. Are you ready?